Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone, and the honorable to my lecturer, Mr. Dr. Andes Budiantoro, Master of Arts, and all my friends who are watching my video of explanation English for Fakultas. May we always be given the unlimited blessings of God. Even in this pandemic condition, may we always be given healthy blessings. Before I explain about my presentation, let me introduce myself. My name is Selvi Herlina from the Faculty of Economics and Business, majoring in Management Hybrid Bachelor 1. In my presentation this time, I want to discuss about English for general purpose about reading. With topic 1, Introduction, number 2, Why to read, 3, Where you read, 4, What you read, 5, From you read, 6, How to find what you need to read, 7, Conclusion. Number 1, Introduction. Carrying out research project in the social science will almost invariably involve the researcher in significant amount of reading, particularly if they are not already well read in the subject area. The work and skills associated with reading for research, how to read, what you read, how to make sense of your reading, can be major worry and barrier for the relatively inexperienced researcher. The purpose of this chapter, therefore, is to support you in developing and using your research reading skills. The chapter is organized into the following section: Why read, coping with research literature, basic reading strategies, using libraries, using the internet, good enough reading, reading about method as well as subject, recording your reading, the literature review, issues and in reading. 2. Why you read. It is possible to carry out research without engaging in much direct reading, though it would be unusual to do so without any new reading. This might happen, for example, where the constraints on the time available do not allow for much reading, or where the method and context are familiar. We would argue strongly, however, especially where the research has an academic connection. Here are 10 research to read research. It will give you ideas. You need to understand what other research have done in your area to broaden your perspective and set your work in context. Direct personal experience can never be enough to limit your arguments. It might cause you to change your mind. Writers, and you will be one, need readers, so that you can effectively criticize what others have done. To learn more about research methods and their application in practice. As you look, you may recognize many of the reasons given. You may be able to add others as well. You may read in order to contextualize what you are doing or to impress your own readers with your knowledge of the literature. Here also suggests to other important point about reading for research. Thus, it is not just essential to read, but you read at different stages of the research project and to read for a variety of purpose. Reading at different stages and for different purpose. Stage at the beginning of your research, in order to check what other research has been done, to focus your ideas, set your hypothesis, and explore the context for your project. During your research, to keep you interested and up to date with development, to help you better understand the methods you are using, the field you are researching, and a source of data. study research to see what impact your own work has had and help you develop ideas to further research projects. Purposes, account of research on similar topics to your own, accounts of research methods being applied in ways which are similar to your friends, accounts of the context relating to your project to protect against duplication and enrich your arguments. Coping with the research literature, to wise researchers, it can seem like there is so much that needs reading, and that it's so difficult to get on top of your make sense of it. More experienced researchers, you may or may not be related to know can have much the same concerns, but the new researcher may feel overwhelmed by magnitude of these demands for quite a long time. You may be concerned about the volume of literature, the variety of literature, lack of boundaries, conflicting arguments. If you recognize these problems, are not sure where to start in reading the research literature or what to do with it when you have read it. Basic reading strategies. This section offers some basic guidance on four related questions: where to read, what to read, when to read, how to find what you need to read. 3. Where to read. The obvious place to read, at least up until the last few years, might seem to be the library, particularly if you are doing a research project in academic setting. Libraries come, of course, in different guises. They might be wide-ranging of specialist research, general or academic in function, for references only for or available to borrowing. This last distinction highlights a critical point: depth of access. While universities library normally allow access to bona fide research, some may impose a restriction on borrowing or charge fees, and others might prohibit access altogether. Basic reading strategies. The other obvious place to read nowadays is on your computer, making use of some of the vast range of materials available through the internet. Compared to libraries, the material available on the internet is so much more variable in quality. You do, of course, need to have access to a computer and internet connection. Given this, access is easy. Though at times it may be frustrating and can be expensive. Beyond these sources, however, there are many other places in which you might read. Bookshops are underused research from this point of view. A key strategy here for researchers, particularly those working in fields where written research are restricted, is to exploit as many possible resources and venues for reading as are feasible. 4. What to read. The short answer to the question of what to read has to be to read as much and as many different things or sources of text as possible. This will enable to encounter a range of views and forms of presentation within the different kinds of writing appropriate to your topic. The kind of things you might read out include books of kinds, journal, national and international homes and overseas, report produced in by situation or organization of different kinds, popular media, the daily and weekly press, computer-based materials, an increasingly important source, memos, minutes, internal reports pursued by organizations you are studying, letters, diaries, and other personal documents produced by individual of interest. In using these different 10 kinds of writing sources, it will be useful to bear in mind a number of other distinctions between types of material for reading: published and unpublished literature, contemporary and classic work, introductory and overview text, edited collection and literature reviews, methodological and confessional accounts. Finally, in your reading you should be aware to the extent to which text present and make use of original data, a common distinction made in depth between primary, secondary, and tertiary sources. Primary sources mainly consist of original data. With a book self-containing 20 or 30 books on the same topic, or the size of dozens of journals, it can be very difficult to decide where to start in doing so. It's important to be aware of whom you are reading, where they are coming from, how authoritative a voice they have, and what their motivation in writing might be. You should be able to get plenty of guidance to whom to read, at least to start with, from your supervisor, manager, colleges, or field research. Some of the kinds of research mentioned above, particularly literature reviews, are also excellent place to go for suggestions on who to read. As you read more and more literature, you will begin to build up a few of the most quoted or cited others in the classic text. 6. How to find what you need to read. If you are a researcher tackling an unfamiliar field of study for the first time, you need to be able to get to grips with the relevant literature as quickly as possible. Your aim should to become familiar with the key texts on your subject area. The following present an extent approach to finding what you need to read. For suggestions on how to read them, see the next section on very good reading. X tips for finding what you need to read. 1. Take advice from a available resource, your supervisor, manager, fellow researcher, or students. 2. Look at books, journal, or other material that appear relevant by asking advice. 3. Once you have identified relevant self or internet location, once you have identified relevant journal, imprint your online lecture recent issues to find the most up-to-date writing on your topic. Read out words from your original source by following up interesting writing references. 6. Identify text by noting clues that are referred to again and again. Seek out the latest edition. 7. As you develop a feeling for the literature relevant to your field, try and ensure that you have some understanding and have done some reading within its different areas. Finding too many records, try narrowing your search by using and to combine terms social and inclusion. Use cursive Searching connect the terms using underscores. Use the advanced search option and restrict your search to a section of records. Exclude words or phrases by using not finding in notes records. Try broadening your search by using or to combine terms, using punctuation at the end of words followed by an asterisk to find any other meanings. Too much or too little information. Seven, conclusion. So the conclusion that I get after reading the material is how important reading is in this life, wherein reading is window the world, accompanied by why you read, where you read, what you read, when you read, how to find what you need to read, and conclusion of the presentation that I delivered on this occasion. Maybe that's all I can say at this time. Thank you for your attention and thank you for taking the time. Our friends and especially my lecturer, Mr. Dr. Andres Budiantoro, Master of Arts. I hope this video presentation can motivate the audience to able to lead to a better mindset. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Have a nice day all.